Hello and welcome to the Lost Media Chronicles, a show that discusses lost movies, music, art, you name it. For the unaware, I've been covering the production hell of the first 3 Toy Story movies. To say that these films had a tough time being made is an understatement. But there's a piece of lost media connected to the first film that I felt needed its own video. This is the story of the infamous Black Friday reel of Toy Story. Now, I've already discussed at length the production of Toy Story, but I'll give a shortened version of what happened for context. Toy Story's production started in the 1980s when Pixar was making animated shorts. Their 1988 short Tin Toy gained widespread recognition. Though it put Pixar's name on the map, they were struggling financially. Pixar wanted to create the first feature-length all-CGI animated film, but they couldn't do it in the state that they were in. This is where Disney comes into play. They first visited Pixar during the production of Red's Dream, and were interested in helping Pixar. Lasseter had previously worked for Disney and was fired for his attempt to pitch The Brave Little Toaster. After the first awkward meeting with Disney animation head Peter Schneider, they were called by Jeffrey Katzenberg for another awkward meeting. Pixar pitched a 30-minute television special called A Tin Toy Christmas, which Katzenberg shot right down and demanded a feature length. The script and storyboards for A Tin Toy Christmas have never surfaced. Pixar conceded, desperately needing the money. Pixar struggled with writing the film. They constantly switched ideas over how characters should look and act. Woody originally was a creepy ventriloquist dummy, and Buzz had this awkward small red design. Pixar had no experience writing a feature-length film and had to attend a seminar to learn. Their original idea was lighthearted and touching, much in the vein of Tin Toy. Disney, however, had different ideas. Aiming to release the movie under their Touchstone Films label, they pushed for an adult-oriented version of the film. It wasn't uncommon for Katzenberg and other executives to tear up script pages and storyboards during meetings. Lasseter found himself having to make the story darker and more cynical to please executives. This led to what is known as the Black Friday incident. On November 19, 1993, Pixar was scheduled to show Disney everything they had for the film. Now, when I talked about this incident in my production hell video, I made it out to be a pretty cut and dry situation. However, in recent years, there's been speculation that this situation may not have been as straightforward as previously thought. Here's what we know for sure. Pixar showed Disney what they had. Disney hated what they saw. The characters were mean and cynical. At some point, they were shown an early version of the scene where Woody pushes Buzz out the window and the argument with the other toys. The executives were especially disgusted by this scene, and that's where the big argument broke out. Katzenberg asked why it was so bad. Lasseter replied that they were just following the directions given to them. Roy E. Disney then replied, "And you listened to us?" Peter Schneider called for a shutdown, to which Lasseter begged Katzenberg for more time to fix up the story. Katzenberg complied, and from there, Toy Story became the film we know and love today. So what is this alleged mystery? Well, for starters, we don't really know how complete the Black Friday reel is. Some sources state that the entire film was storyboarded. Other sources state that the film was completely animated. What's more likely is that what was shown to Disney was a mixture between the two. It's unlikely that Pixar would have spent the time to fully animate it, and it makes no sense why they wouldn't want to at least show Disney some of it in action. What's more troubling is that some sources state the entire film was shown, and others say that only the scene of Buzz being pushed out the window was shown. So is the Black Friday reel really the completed initial cut of the film, or simply the one scene? This is where things start getting especially confusing. One other thing to keep in mind is that the cast recorded all of their lines for the film prior to the Black Friday incident. This is evidenced by the fact that Pixar had to call them all back in to re-record their lines. Tom Hanks even went as far as to call the original version of Woody a jerk, showing an early need to soften up the character. So, we know the entire film was both scripted and audio recorded by this stage. It's also unknown at what stage the film was in when the Black Friday reel was shown. An early scene featured on the DVD shows Buzz in his red design and Woody as a dummy. It's often shared on YouTube as being from the Black Friday cut. However, another video that commonly pops up when searching for Black Friday related material is a storyboard sequence that was shown to executives. Here we see characters more closely resemble the designs in the finished product. I think these designs are closer to the ones that are in the Black Friday cut. But for all I know, the storyboard was reconstructed to avoid confusing viewers, so I may be wrong there too. It's unknown what happened to the Black Friday reel. One thing is certain, Pixar does not want the public to see it. Lasseter himself was embarrassed by the results. Hell, the reason why there's so much speculation is because Pixar doesn't talk about it enough to get the truth out. It remains a fascinating mystery in the history of animation, but not one we're likely to see solved in our lifetimes. Assuming it wasn't destroyed, the reel is sitting somewhere in a Disney vault, dodging release to avoid tarnishing the film's squeaky clean reputation. Fans are curious though. Some are there for the bile fascination. Others think that an adult version of Toy Story might have actually worked. Whatever the case, it remains a highly sought after piece of lost media. That about does it for this episode. If you like what you saw here, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. Oh, and ring my bell. Oh, and be sure to check out my production hell videos on Toy Story. I'll be sure to put links in the description. Trust me, there's a lot more to the production than I said here. As always, thanks for watching.